Hi, I'm Jonny John. So today I want to talk about the steps required for us to transform the suffering states of the mind. To recap, what is the suffering states of the mind? Suffering is any negative state of the mind which creates unhappiness from within. It can be a state of fear, a state of anger or impatience, and so forth. So how do we transform the suffering states of the mind so we don't have to experience them again? In the last video, we learned that the seed cause of all forms of sufferings come back to negative ideas, ideas which promote the rejection of the self. Suffering is experienced when we become attached to these negative ideas. So to release ourselves from the suffering, we release ourselves from the attachment to these negative ideas. So whether it be a fear, an impatience, or anger that you're trying to transform, you simply release your attachment. You simply discover the negative ideas and release your attachment towards them. Then no more suffering. Simple, right? But it's not as simple as it seems. Because how hard it is to forgive someone, even if we try. How hard it is to let go of our attachment towards the negative ideas we have towards someone that has angered us. You see, some negative ideas can be so deeply rooted in our consciousness that it's hard to let go. And the other reason is because each time we react negatively in a suffering experience, for instance, letting that anger build up, we're essentially creating negative energy, fuel for the negative idea to take root even deeper in our consciousness. Every time we react negatively, we're essentially sustaining the negative ideas. So how do we break ourselves from this never-ending cycle of negative reactions and suffering? Remember, in the first few videos, we talked about the importance of developing stillness in knowing. Developing stillness is what creates progress on the path, because creating stillness will create knowing. And in this case, by developing stillness, it will allow you to observe all suffering experiences with a calmer mind rather than simply reacting negatively. For instance, instead of thinking of ways to punch that someone in the face when we experience anger, stillness will allow us to observe it more calmly, allowing us to take our attention inwards to observe what's happening inside and develop the knowing of the negative ideas that we need to address, that we need to transform, that we need to release. So developing stillness and knowing is very important. And another important thing is the attitude we have when we are trying to transform ourselves. Remember, we're not trying to destroy ourselves. If we have the mentality to criticize ourselves, to destroy our sufferings, it will only create more negativity. That is why we say we're trying to transform ourselves. We're trying to transform the consciousness. We can't destroy the consciousness, but we can transform it. Consciousness is in essence consciousness energy, conscious energy, and it can be transformed. Now, in terms of the process of releasing our attachment towards negative ideas, it's important to understand what releasing attachment really means. How does letting go, what does releasing means to the consciousness? It's important to know this so we know where we want to take our mind towards. So let us look at this. So let me explain. So letting go, releasing attachment towards negative ideas, and the consciousness essentially means to transform the negative ideas into the opposite of what it is. That is how it's released. And the opposite of negative ideas are potentiated ideas. Negative ideas are ideas which promote the rejection of the self. Potentiated ideas are the opposite. They promote the acceptance of the self. Let me simplify it even further. So we're trying to transform the self-declaration "it is not okay" to "it is okay." For example, it is not okay to fail to it is okay to fail. And as we work on this transformation of the negative ideas towards this direction, all negative physical sensations, negative emotions, negative thoughts to do with failing will disappear, because it's okay to fail. And it's important to remember that we're working on the state of the mind rather than the action. So we're not trying to become a failure outside. We're trying to reach that inner acceptance that it's okay to fail on the inside. If you truly accept that it's okay to fail, there will be no fear of failing. There will be no negative judgments towards others and ourselves when we fail, because it's okay to fail. And as we work on transforming negative ideas into potentiated ideas, all levels of the self will be potentiated. Because negative ideas limit the self, potentiated ideas remove these limitations, allowing us to create more potential, allowing us to expand our potential and create greater happiness in life. So in summary, to transform our sufferings, to transform and release our sufferings, we simply release our attachment towards the negative ideas driving the experience. The process of releasing attachment is a process of transforming the negative ideas into the potentiated ideas, of transforming ideas which promote the rejection of the self towards the acceptance of the self. So essentially, it's a journey of developing self-acceptance. And developing stillness and knowing will help you on this journey. In the next video, we will look at this process in more detail and the ways to accelerate the journey with catalysts. So I'll see you in the next video.